There we go. We are live and in action. I feel like I'm dressed for winter, even though I walked out my house this morning and it felt like very nice late summer, early fall. And I felt a little overdressed. But in any event, welcome. I am Melissa McLeod here at the Will and the Floss in Grosse Pointe Woods, Michigan. And today is Wow Wednesday, and we've got some wow for you for sure. We are also a creative escape for all stitchers. So we're trying to embrace the wow and the creativity today. So if nothing else, I think your takeaway today will be lots of really great ideas. Bye, Andrea. Really great ideas for larger canvases. So we have had an exclusive for a while on a scalloped self-finishing table that many of you are probably aware of. We also are now offering this gorgeous, brand new to us bamboo self-finishing table. It's not actually made of bamboo. We'll talk about the details in a minute. But all of these house anywhere from basically any size canvas up to a 14 by 14 square, but ideally a 10 by 10, a 12 by 12, or a 14 by 14 inch square. So I was brainstorming with Liz last night, who graciously, normally Wednesdays are her day off. She graciously offered to come in and help me with the live, so she will be moderating, but she's also helped me. I shouldn't say helped me. She took about half these canvases, I took half these canvases. We came up with some really great ideas with how we would thread them, what we would do with them, some ideas for background stitches and why. So I think there's a lot of education that hopefully you might walk away with today. Some of you are more experienced stitchers than I am, and you'll probably have better ideas than I do. But I know some of you are not as experienced as I am, and maybe we'll have some nice takeaways from this. So I think it might help to first start talking about the tables, because all of these canvases can tie in with the tables. We've also pulled some really fun coordinating accessories, coordinating project bags. We'll highlight some of the books that we picked threads from. So if you're not in the mood for treating yourself to a big purchase, there's still gonna be some fun little things along the way. Speaking of treating yourself, I'm gonna pause for a minute. We have our KISS retreat next week with optional Mahjong Mayhem, I think is what we called it, something like that. And unfortunately, I've had two very dear customers who have had family things come up that won't be able to join us next week. I probably should have warned the gals, because what I'm gonna tell you to do, Liz is gonna warn the gals. If you are available next Tuesday and Wednesday, Lisa, I pray to the Lord that your flight doesn't get canceled, sorry. We have 2 open spaces. So if you are interested in coming, it's next Tuesday and Wednesday, stitching from 10 to 4. We have special guest Amy Poor will be here. The optional Mahjong Mayhem is that we will have 2 Mahjong tables set up so you can play for some stitching breaks during the day if you would like. We bring in lunch both days. We have very kind of basic swag available for all of you. We don't go crazy like we do for our large retreat, which that lottery is open. You can sign up for that on the website. But if you would, oh, Kieran, and we're so excited to see you too. If you are available next Tuesday and Wednesday and want to make either a quick trip to Detroit or you live in the Detroit area, give us a call. I'll post something if it fills up. But right now we have 2 spots available. So give us a shout if you want to join us Tuesday and Wednesday. We've just let Sabrina and Bryn and Pat know. So if you guys call, I think I said the price, $195, 2 days, lunches, endless camaraderie, help with pulling threads together. Our finishing staff will be here to help work with you one-on-one. So next Tuesday and Wednesday, November 11th and 12th, 2 spots. So give us a call and we will take care of that. In the meantime, we're gonna get rolling on these tables. So hopefully that all makes sense. So scallop table, we have had this before. Sorry, I am out of screen right now. So here is this scallop table. We have sold well over 50 of these. They have been very, very well embraced. A few things have changed. Most importantly, they have a new lower price point. If you bought this previously, you should have received an email from us talking about the lower price point. So if you did not receive an email, let us know, but I believe everyone has. If you bought it previously, again, it was a higher price. Right now, there are 4 colors available in this table. The painted versions are $6.98, so they've had a substantial drop in price, and that is because they've been able to work with the craftsmen, come up with some more efficiencies. They're offering it on a broader scale, so therefore they can do it at a lower price. So they are still made by Amish craftsmen in Ohio, so US made, solid maple, tempered glass, mortise and tenon joinery, which may not mean anything to everybody, but that means that instead of things going together with screws that get loose over time and start being wobbly, everything is kind of put together like a puzzle piece, and therefore it's very stable, and it won't loosen over time. So very high quality, and as well have catalyzed, am I saying that word right, Liz? I'm not sure I'm saying it right.
What it is. So
the catalyzed paint, that means that it won't
like
ding and dent.
Yeah, that could be right.
I think that's how you say it. So that ensures that it won't easily get nicked, and the paint won't start to look bad after a while. So those are kind of the basics, and that goes into play, all of those things, for our original scallop table, as well as, let's see if I can pick this up.
I think it's very strong paint. I think you're right.
Yeah,
I just hadn't heard that term, to be honest.
Yeah,
so
they talk about it in automotive stuff too. So this is the bamboo table, which is so beautiful. It has just arrived here. I feel like I kind of birthed a child. Each of these items are drop shipped to you. And the reason I'm saying I feel like I birthed a child is I think it took me almost an hour yesterday to unpack that table. It is so well packed. Nothing can happen to them like along the way to you, other than I guess the package could get lost.
Do a really good job.
But the packaging of it is incredible. As a matter of fact, if you're local to us and you like those styrofoam peanuts, let us know. I've got a giant box of styrofoam peanuts I'm happy to send your way. Have you come and pick up, actually, I should say. So that is the packaging. So they are all drop shipped. Nothing is in the building. As a matter of fact, when you go to choose this table from our website, which is how you will choose it, I'll give you some more options, and then we'll get into the canvases that Liz and I pulled and are super excited about. Our website will not offer an in-store pickup because they are all drop shipped for everyone from Ohio to your home or wherever you want it sent. $90 for the scallop table because it is slightly smaller in diameter than the bamboo table, which is $125 drop shipped. So I'm going to give a quick rundown on the color options and the sizing, and then we'll dive into the canvases. So lower price point is the biggest item, of course. The scallop table I said was $6.98. If you want the stain version, which is just like a classic dark stain, it is slightly upscaled price-wise. It's $7.49, so about $50 higher for the stain version over the painted version. Painted version can come in black. It can come in light blue, and of course, white. So what you're seeing here is the framing. So the scallop table itself, the table topper is 14 inches by 14 inches. Actually, I lied. It's 16 inches by 16 inches. It holds a 14 by 14. And then it has 2 different frame pieces that come with it. This piece is 1 inch wide, and this makes it 14 by 4, no, this is a 14 by 14 display area with just the tempered glass. This makes it 12 by 12. And then with the new versions, there's also a wider frame. That's okay.
Can I hold something?
Liz is so afraid I'm gonna drop this glass.
No, it's just, there's a lot going on.
I want this to lock back on the table so I don't knock it over. I'm more worried about knocking it over than dropping it. And then there's a larger frame piece. This is 2 inches wide, so that gives you a 10 by 10 display area. So that is how the table functions with a 14 by 14, 12 by 12, or 10 by 10. Again, if you want something smaller than 10 by 10, you could have a framer make a mat for you. You could put a rectangle inside. You could put a circle inside. That is between you and your framer, but lots and lots of options. I think circles would be fantastic. So they are drop shipped in 6 to 8 weeks. and if you're interested in a table, and we're gonna talk about the bamboo table too, you would just go to our website and order those, because I don't wanna take an order here for a table, because I'm afraid that we will enter the wrong color, and they are custom made and they're individually made for every single one of you. So order the tables through our website, please, please, please. There's a hero image right on the front page. It'll be very easy to find. And I think that's about it for the scallop tables. I did, I think, mention that they are made of solid maple. That might be the one thing I didn't mention. So the bamboo table is absolutely gorgeous. This is the top framing piece, and I'm pulling this off so you can see the detail on here. So this is made, it's called a bamboo table, but obviously, is it imitation bamboo? Is that what we would call it? Bamboo styled.
Yeah.
This is the black version, and this frame fits on top. So the difference between the two tables is the scallop table, the framing fits inside on top of the glass. This table, the frames fit inside of the bamboo section. So that is the 14 by 14 frame. And then there is, yesterday actually when they came was, I thought they didn't fit. I was like, what is wrong with this?
So the glass lifts up.
The glass lifts up. There's a little, here, I'll show you guys that too, thank you. There's a
I saw the little notch.
finger
so that's
notch.
what I was wondering.
Yeah, Liz will stick her finger in there.
Yeah.
So there's a little finger notch, so you can lift that glass from there.
Yeah, I'm afraid to do that.
I know,
when
we're
it's
not
on
gonna
the
do it
tilter.
live and tilted, whatever, but that's how you lift the glass
really
out.
cool.
And you put in your framing on whatever size it is. So this framing that's inside right now makes it a 14 by 14 display, because this table's a little bit wider. It's 18.75 inches wide. Both tables are a standard 24-inch high table, which is what you would put as an end table or between two side
table.
chairs, etc.
And the needlepoint is under glass on both of them, right?
Needlepoint goes
looking-
under the glass on both of them, and there's enough clearance
Cool.
to support beading, ribbon work, stump work, all the things, right? Did I forget
Yeah, I
anything?
like it. So while you're waiting on your stitching, because that doesn't poof happen right away,
Right.
you could put something else in there.
Well, right
too.
now I have the navy blue version in my family room with nothing in it. It looks
Yeah.
totally fine and cute. It's just a glass
Yeah.
top table. Like, you don't
Right.
have to have anything in it. So,
Cool.
yeah.
Very cool.
And so these frames come with, so you can change it out to whatever size you end up wanting it. The bamboo table comes in the black, of course, that I've been showing you. The legs also have the bamboo detailing. I hope that was clear. I might hold that
Yeah,
up
no,
one
you
more
did.
time.
You held it
Okay.
up.
So the legs have the bamboo detailing. And the bamboo table comes in 3 colors. The black I've been showing you, the natural stain, which is a lighter natural than, obviously,
That's
the
like more
scallop
mahogany.
table. So this is bamboo natural. That's the stained for the scallop table. And then both tables come in this navy. So it's a nice, beautiful navy. Sorry for the paint sample,
Will
but
you
I
put
am
the
waiting on a
bamboo
wood
in
version.
front of it. There you go. It'll
So,
show better.
There you go. So those are the 3 colors: black, navy, bamboo.
Really
Excuse me, black, navy, stained in the bamboo, and then the 4 colors in the other. All the colors, all the sizes, all the prices, all on the website. So let's get on to the fun part.
Oh, Susan said she put her next canvas she hasn't started in there, and it looks great. That's a really good idea. I love it.
Susan! I mean, so many people say that some of these hand-painted needlepoint canvases are so beautiful
I don't wanna stitch over it.
they should just frame them. Like, why haven't I thought of that?
And she owns some of those that I talk about, like some really beautiful, artistically painted, gorgeous
For
canvases.
sure.
So.
So the only thing you would want to not do, and I'm sure Susan didn't do this, is don't cut any of the canvas off. When you go to stitch it, you're still gonna want your 2 inches of selvage all the way around in order to put it on a frame and be able to do all the things. But you easily could put a 14 by 14 canvas size that might have a 10 by 10 design size on it for that. Just don't get overly enthusiastic and start cutting your canvas because it looks so good. Unless you plan to never frame it, which honestly is an option. It totally is an option. So, okay, so I think we've kind of covered the table things. If you guys have questions, Liz can type in some answers, but let's just maybe dive into some options. We pulled a number of things. Is everything might be 13 mesh, Liz? I think everything's 13.
Hilarious, is it?
Nope, there's one 18 mesh.
like-
Most of what we pulled is 13 mesh.
I have an 18 over here too.
Okay, we have a couple
Okay.
18 meshes, but for the most part, a lot of them are 13 mesh, which is fantastic because they stitch up a little faster. What I can say to you is the beauty of the self-finishing table is if you have not thought about this, first of all, it's kind of instant gratification. Once you're done stitching, it goes in your piece and you're done. If you put it in your self-finishing table, and then 2 months later, you're like, you know, that would look really good as a pillow on the couch in my living room instead. You just pull it out and you send it in for finishing. So it can be rotated seasonally. So you could have something maybe in the spring. Let's see how I did all this. Got to get to the canvas first. So I didn't bring a whiteboard. That was done with me, Liz. Thank you.
handle that.
So this is from Amelia Bond. She is one of the Gingham Stitchery painters, and she has a seasonal floral pieces. This one happens to be 10 by 10. I'm not sure how much this board is actually going to help me, of course, not when we get to the bigger ones. Oh, and guess what? I lied. This canvas is 9 by 9. So this is a situation where you might want to have a frame made that is 14 by 14, but then maybe place the, sorry, I'm decorating as I go. Maybe place have a photo mat made and then place it in with the 12-inch opening. I think would be really pretty. So, you know, again, just lots and lots of options. Actually, if you get a chance, Liz, maybe you could put the bamboo piece back on in the right order because I know I'm going to knock it off. Okay, this is Amelia's piece. So my thoughts on this, I pulled this together last night. Let's hope I can hold my own here and remember what I did. First of all, I love this little mouse down here. He is so darling. And I thought he should be done in all velvets. How cute would he be, that little velvet mouse? He is holding like a little potted plant, I think, is what I see on there. And so I would do him in all velvets. And then I would sparkle his eyes and his paws, the little black detailing, and of course his whiskers. So that's how I would pull together that cute little mouse. And then he has so many florals, and so and I love the hummingbird. And I don't think we have the field guide for birds in right now, but I always kind of use that as my cheater sheet. So I'm gonna have to make a note to order some of those. But the bird things pull together. You can use it for birds, honestly, a lot of leaf stitches. Anything that's designed for a leaf, you can usually transition to a bird, so that's something to keep in mind. And on this case, I would do a composite stitch in the background. And I'm trying to figure out what stitch I picked. Double cross. Okay, so I picked double cross, which is looks a lot like Alicia's lace, but it's simpler to stitch.
Yeah.
So I pulled double cross out of, this is the More Stitches for Effect. So there are 3 books in this series by Susan Howren and Beth Robertson. It's More Stitches for Effect, Stitches for Effect, More Stitches for Effect, and Even More Stitches for Effect. Their glossaries build upon each other. In most cases, they have 3 stitches to a page. And in this case, I pulled this double cross, which kind of at first looks like Alicia's lace with fill. But if you look at this more carefully, 1, 2, 3, 4, it is 4 large X's with upright cross in the middle, as opposed to Alicia's lace, which would have a lot of over 2s involved. So this is gonna go a little faster. And I felt like on this canvas, it would make kind of a trellis effect in the background, which lended itself to it. So I would do that composite stitch with the over 4 X's, probably in this Neon Rays, because you're not gonna have to lay it as much. And Neon Rays is upside down. Will give you a shimmery effect without a sparkly effect. I always suggest with Neon Rays you use a hair straightener, a mini hair straightener. I think, do we still have those in the stock?
We do.
Okay.
Yeah, we do.
I should have grabbed one of those. We have one that is cordless, And when you flatten neon rays, people go from hating it to loving it. So then you can make those large 4x4 X's and fill in with upright crosses and probably 3 strands of this soie. And you're not gonna have to worry about laying the soie quite as much. If you did it the opposite way, it would be a lot harder to get all the soie laid and pretty. And I'm kind of a lazy stitcher, so to me this was the lazier way to go. And I love how it coordinates with this background, but if I were gonna do the background border, I would do it in Vineyard Silk, which some people might say Vineyard Silk's a little bit light on 13 mesh. I think as long as it's a color match and you don't pull too tightly, it's gonna look fantastic. I was afraid to do Planet Earth Silk or even Pepper Pot. Well, actually Pepper Pot didn't have the right color blue. I was afraid to do Planet Earth Silk or Silk and Ivory out here because it would look really heavy compared to the delicateness of this overall canvas. So I really liked that idea. Then I would also utilize one of our other books if you're not familiar with this stitch. The woven spider web is outlined in Julia Snyder's, let me find the front page, Next Level Stitches. And she explains to you how to do a woven spider web, which is fantastic. The beauty behind her books is, do you see this QR code down here? If you click on the QR code, she gives you a live video tutorial of this stitch as well as every stitch in this book. So this is like having Julia in your back pocket helping you out. So the woven spider web will be fantastic done in a combination of, I'm gonna go back here, these 2 gorgeous ribbons for this rose. So pretty. You see how the variegation in this treenway is amazing. There's some darker areas in here, so you would have 2 needles going and just fill in some of the darker color here and there just to give the rose a little bit of definition, and I think it would be absolutely gorgeous. I then pulled this variegated green for the leaves, and there's lots of fantastic leaf stitches in almost any stitch book you own. You could do those leaves like that. And then I would probably, because you've got a lot going on over here, you're gonna have this heavier mouse because he's all in velvet. I would do some, probably a lot of 10 stitch, maybe some long and short in these 3 beautiful colors of Pepper Pot for, what kind of flower is that? Maybe an orchid? I don't know. I don't know my flowers. Tiger lily, daylily. Yeah, Liz is probably more
I have
right.
some
Yeah,
at my house like that.
there we go. So I just think adding that blue background is really going to add a lot of interest without overtaking this canvas. So I thought that was lots of fun. I, of course, always think that you need to have a coordinating needle minder. So I pulled a couple of these Mary L needle minders. These are made from Liberty of London fabrics. So I'll show you a couple of these. This is the Cosmos. So they have nice strong magnets on the back. Let me pull this up so you can see how big the magnet is. So nice strong magnet on the back. This is also magnetized on the front. So this is Cosmos. These are $23. This one is, also Cosmos, but it just has a larger flower on it. So we'll call this large Cosmos. They're really the same fabric, just for the record. And then if you're more of a pink girl, we have Arlie Blossom, and Emily Bell. And then for these larger canvases, sometimes what I prefer to do is use a tote bag for my large piece to go on stretcher bars in, but then I might want a smaller bag to house, maybe in this case, all my threads, whatever stitch book I'm using, maybe the straightener that you might be using with your neon rays. And these Project 10 bags, I've talked about these many times. I love them. They are very affordable, $18. I believe they're 11 by 15. And they're made of recycled plastic. So they really speak to my values for things. And I think this would be fantastic in the light blue table.
it would look, of course, anything looks good in black. Black always makes the colors pop. Would look great in white. I think it would work in almost any color we have to offer. So that is the first one. So I'm gonna set all this aside. Boom, boom,
I have
boom.
an Emily Bell needle minder.
I'm just gonna give you this whole pile, and maybe you can keep them together as
the
groups
pink
for
one?
now. They're labeled on the back.
Oh my God,
I had to
love
know
it.
nothing. I had to know nothing, Liz. It was great.
I love that.
That goes with that pile too. Okay, next up is gonna be a little simpler to talk about because this is a piece from Sandra Gilmore. I have loved him for the longest time. As a matter of fact, you're gonna see two different nutcrackers today. I'm definitely in my nutcracker era.
She is.
He is so fantastic. Usually Sandra Gilmore has really fun names for her canvases. This one is just called Nutcracker. This one is on 18 mesh. And the beauty of this is we have paired it up with an amazing stitch guide from Laura Perrin. And I'm gonna pull this out because I want you all to see the stitches involved. I will tell you when we pull for this canvas, we do have to substitute a lot of the threads because this stitch guide has been around for a very long time, but look how good it is. That background stitch is gorgeous. How she's done up that border is amazing. He is so handsome. So I would just go with this stitch guide, and I want you guys to see the stitch guide. Lots of detail, lots of great charts, lots of written information. Look at this background stitch. How pretty is that? It is a black work stitch with some open canvas. I love it. So that one we would pull together for you, and I think he would, now you've seen an option for a spring version that you could do any day of the week, and you have also now seen an option for a Christmas version. Again, I love a coordinating needle minder, a coordinating project bag. This cute little minder says, "Let me needlepoint and tell me I'm pretty." Don't we all want to
Totally.
do both of those things? So love this minder. And if this were mine, I would pack it all up into one of our mesh bags. This is 20 by 20. So we have these mesh bags currently in pink and black in the 20 by 20, but all the other colors are on their way back to us. They're very, very crazy affordable, $11. And I like that it's kind of semi-transparent, so you kind of know what's inside. So that is what we've got for the Sandra Gilmore and Laura Perrin Nutcracker. I'm gonna pass that guy, oops, that whole pile that away. Okay.
Thank
Next up, let's do something for the 4th of July, you guys. You know that I'm a big 4th of July fan. For obvious reasons. Someone posted recently, who was that? Maybe it was Ann Fisher? I can't remember. Someone posted recently, what's your favorite month? And does it happen to be your birthday month? And both Suzanne Smith and I were like, yes, July is our favorite month. So there we go. So it might have something to do with that. So this canvas is absolute favorite of mine. There is Jen. Hello, Jen.
Hello, ladies.
This is Let Freedom Ring, and this is by Laura Love, 13 mesh. There is a lot going on this canvas. So how I would approach this, and I should tell you guys the size of this one. I believe it's a 12 by 12. 12 by 12. So it's going to look fantastic. You know, again, in almost, you could do it in the navy, you could do it, light blue might be a stretch. Navy, black, either the stained, white, it's gonna be fantastic. So Let Freedom Ring, 13 mesh. There's a lot going on. That said, of course, I think most people would be like, there's so much going on, I'm gonna basket weave the background. I love basket weave, but only in certain moments of time. I love it always on a canvas. I like to only stitch it in certain moments of time. Sometimes I find it kind of tedious and boring. Other times I find it very therapeutic and relaxing. It depends on the state of my head. So what I would do with this is we have this book called Teeny Tiny Needlepoint Stitches, and I would be doing a very small scale stitch. And in this, on page 145, there is Skip. It's called Skip 4-Way Continental. Do you see this? Where it's making kind of that little latticey shape as well. But these are all tent stitches that are going in kind of backwards order. And so it's alternating, excuse me, yes, it's 4-way continental, but you're skipping some of the areas and it ends up looking like a little bit of lattice work. So if I were attempting this canvas, which I think is fantastic, I would do probably 3 or 4 strands. You'd have to experiment a little bit of this splendor in the background. It's a tiny, tiny bit darker. And I would start from the top down and I would do that skip 4-way continental, creating those little diamondy shapes on it from the top down. As you finish some of the background, you could start some of the fun stuff, but I would finish the whole background of an area before you stitched anything else in that area, just to keep yourself on track. I think it's going to be very easy to stay on track if you do the background first. If you try to stitch some of the other things and then do the background, you're going to end up basket weaving the background, which is not a bad choice. It's just a lot more work. So back to my earlier comment, I'm a lazy stitcher. So this would be my background in this skip 4-way continental from Teeny Tiny Stitches, which is a fantastic book to have if you do a lot of either very busy larger canvases or small canvases that you don't want to just basket weave. I would then stitch all of the letters in Berry Velvet. I'm so excited because Berry Velvet is back to being a bright white again. Letters always look great in velvet because they kind of rise up off the canvas a little bit and give them a little bit more definition. Then I would, there's so many things you can do with these other options. I did have a lot of fun pulling all of the colors for the fireworks. Look at these Threadworks colors, you guys. They are, oops, there we go. They are so perfect. So they're gonna work down here. You're probably gonna use this burgundy up here along with a gold. I didn't pull the gold, but these are gonna make fantastic fireworks, which I think you're gonna do a lot in either stem or outline stitch. Yeah, stem or outline stitch, maybe in Cloche and Goblin where it goes straight, because that's really what outline stitch ends up being if you go straight. And then these other larger, like the pinwheel and the star, you can come up with some fun stitches, but I might just stash die for some of these things. Like, you probably have a lot of red, white, and blue in your stash because they go on a lot of different canvases, and I just use different things because all of these items don't need to exactly match. As long as your background matches, I think you're good to go. Oh, I lied. I did pull a fireworks. I did pull a gold. I knew I wouldn't have skipped the gold. I love gold. So that, the gold and the burgundy, boom, boom. These two would look absolutely gorgeous for this piece. And then you're going to have a fantastic piece to display in your table, you know, from Labor Day, Memorial Day to Labor Day. The other thing I would probably do is for these ribbons, I would couch in place some real ribbon. And again, there's enough depth to these tables that ribbon work will work. You might want to bead this star. As a matter of fact, we had a customer in this morning who said, I've never done brick beading before, and she pulls out this thing and it was perfect. It was fantastic. She was doing a great job. Brick style beading is on our website and very easy. And back to coordinating needle minders. Look at this strawberry. This is an older one of Kelly's. I'm not sure it's still available, but we have one left in the building, and I thought that strawberry needle minder would be so cute with this canvas. So that is your holiday canvas for the summer. Boom, boom, boom. Thank you, Liz. Okay, next up. We're just gonna keep going across the table unless you think there's another way to do this, Liz.
Go right ahead.
This
There's something
goes
for
over there.
everyone.
Okay.
In theory.
So we have the Shelly Tribby trunk show in right now. What is nice about this canvas, and I'm gonna give you a measurement, it is 10 by 10, but there is plenty of space. I'm double checking myself. Yes. You could make this into a 14 by 14 if you wanted. So, Shelly Tribby is a longtime designer. She's now distributed through CBK. This Moon Santa, these colors are fantastic. As a matter of fact, our friend Andrea was in this morning. This would totally speak to her. She loves a pink and green Christmas, and I just think he's darling. So it is 10 by 10, I think is what I just said. Gosh, I'm so spastic. Here we go. 10 by 10. But even with that color strip aside, you could make this to 14 by 14 if you wanted by adding maybe a plaid border around the edge or extending the stripes. You could do whatever you wanted. So, but 10 by 10 works with the table if you have the 10 by 10 frame. There you go. So this is going to work fantastically. And of course, I was coming up with some fun ideas for this. The main star of the show, of course, is his beard. And a lot of times artists will draw or paint, excuse me, the gray swirlies. And that's just to show directionality. It doesn't necessarily mean you're going to use white thread and gray thread. So how I would do this canvas is very similar to what I've done on this cute little sheep egg. So do you see these coils on the sheep? Can you see how that would transition beautifully to this moon? So they are called ruched couched coils. Say that fast 5 times. And it seems more complicated than it is. At some point I could probably do a demo on that and post it as a tutorial.
I was gonna say it's easier to do than it is to say.
For sure. So you would take this is one of the times that normally when you use vineyard silk, I usually say, cut it to an 18-inch length. This is one of the times you might want to do a longer length. But you are going to cut a length of vineyard silk. You're going to kind of tap this end. You're going to pull one of the 3 twisted strands and gather it together. And then you end up with these little kind of springy looking guys. And then you start from the middle and you kind of place them outward. And as you go, you're using a piece of white floss, silk, cotton, doesn't matter, beading thread even works, to couch those little coils in place. Once you get started, it goes really quickly. Doing the first couple, you're like, I think I'm going to go to Grosse Pointe and kill Melissa. But after the first 2, it really does become very easy. So I would do those couched ruched coils for his beard. I'd probably do outline stitch and stem stitch for his mustache, basket weave his face. I'd probably do some satin stitching in a ribbon type thread, neon rays plus, something to make the background fun. And I loved this Threadworks color for the sky. So what I would do for the sky, as Liz said to me yesterday, I said, do you think this is the right stitch? She said, absolutely. This hucking stitch, H-U-C-K, is in the Pretty Stitches by the Pointer Sisters. And it's basically a bunch of straight little lines over 2, some vertical, some horizontal. And I think by doing that stitch in the background with this gorgeous thread, and then I would probably bead those snowflakes. You could also stitch them, but I think they'd be fantastic beaded. I did not pull the beads, but I know we have coordinating bead colors. And then I would do for these little florals on the side, whoops, I'm throwing things. Little leaf stitches with this gold splendor. Put maybe a gold, what's that thing called? Vein down the middle of the leaf. And then these flowers I would do with a double ribbon stitch with this beautiful Trinway. And if you can see those little flowers, there we go. This beautiful Trinway silk. And then a little bead in the middle. It'd be so pretty. And those would kind of pop up off of those stripes then, because you make these leaf stitches a little bulky, make these flowers a little bulky, and those will not disappear into your stripes. So those are my ideas for Shelley Trivia. Again, this is our trunk show. I didn't mention, but all of the trunk show pieces are 20% off. I can't remember when the trunk show goes back. I have no idea.
I don't either. Sorry.
Gotta
we're
look
not
that
doing a
up.
good job filling in.
Most of the time we're doing just fine with Kelly not here, and then things like when's the trunk show go? She would know exactly, but I have to look that up. But then coordinating needle minder, we have the Needlepoint Studio stable needle minder in the building, and I think that would be so cute with that. I showed you guys the pink mesh project bag earlier. Of course, would be a perfect piece to go along with this as well. So that is that one. This goes with that. I don't know if we need to worry about the sheep.
I'll leave the sheep
There we go.
home.
Okay. I feel like I should hop to one that Liz did. Let's do this guy.
There's some wacky
I-
ideas.
I will try to start, and Liz will probably weigh in, because as much as we kind of share the same brain, sometimes I'm like, I don't remember what she told me. So I'm going to show you guys the canvas. I picked out some coordinating needle minders and a coordinating project bag. So while she's looking at something, I'll show you guys the canvas and the project bag. So this is, again, a Shelley Tribute canvas. What I do love, and she has done it again, she gives you lots of selvage, so you can easily add on to this canvas if you would like. It starts out as an 11 by 11, so you could make this 12 by 12. I think you have enough room. I'm double checking. You could probably make this to 14. No, you can probably only make it 11 by 11 up to 13 by 13, because these color squares will get in your way. Yes, you can stitch over them, but depending on the color, it's going to give you a halo, as well as her name marking. And you can use our white corrector pen to blank out any of these, but anytime you've had a dark color and you try to paint over it with white, it's still gonna show through. So I don't wanna mislead anyone that you could make this to 14 by 14, because I think this is gonna become problematic. That's gonna become problematic. But up to 13 by 13, you are good to go. So this witch is riding her bike on Halloween night. The black cat in her basket is fantastic. 13 mesh, again, 20% off because of the trunk show. We're gonna talk about the stitches in a minute. Of course, we have our black mesh bag in 20 by 20, so this is gonna be fantastic to house everything. This is an old needle minder of Kelly's. I'm surprised it is around here still. I think we only have one left. So this black cat on the fence, I think, is the last time you're gonna see this guy. So he is here, and of course your black cat needs a black cat friend. And the other one I pulled off the wall, I think she calls this Beetlejuice.
Oh yeah,
The
Beetlejuice and
colors are
spider.
fantastic. If you have not watched Kelly's and I keep saying Kelly, Beauvais Arts, which is Kelly Boverman, she did a whole video on Monday that I found fascinating. She talked about fret balls. Is that right? Is that what they're called?
Those Fritz balls.
Fritz balls. Frit balls?
Frit.
Frit.
Maybe no plural.
F-R-I-T. Frit
yeah.
ball. So, and those are these little dots here, but it was a whole fascinating video about how she utilizes frit balls and the different size frit balls come in. Every time she said it, I kept wanting to say, she's saying football? But no, she was saying frit ball. It was really interesting. So take a few minutes when you're stitching and go back and watch that. But Beetlejuice Needle Minder takes advantage of the frit balls. So let's get back to this gorgeous canvas. So Liz, of course, pulled this black fuzzy stuff, which I'm sure is going in this cat, correct? What I will always tell people is, anytime you're stitching in black, don't overthink the stitch too much. It is very hard to see any stitch definition in black because of the denseness of color. That is even more multiplied when you're using fuzzy stuff, because in the end, it gets fluffed up with a boo-boo brush, which I thought we had pulled. Where did we hide our boo-boo brush?
Over here.
There we go. So Boo Boo Brush was originally designed to, when you cut out your threads, like you might be using one of our stitch rips, you are cutting out the threads and you've got like kind of lint on your canvas. That's what this Boo Boo Brush was designed for. But what I also love it for is when I'm stitching, and in this case, this cute little black cat, you can fluff up the fuzzy stuff with your Boo Boo Brush when you are done. So that would be fantastic. For the black cat. She also pulled this really pretty Milan. This is such a good lime green that you would use for the witch's skin. It is called Mojito. And we carry Milan just on these, double checking my work, 10-yard cards. And that works out great with these larger canvases when you just need a little bit, because instead of paying almost $9 for something, I think this is $3.75, and you won't have a lot of leftovers as opposed to the 30-yard skein. So that is the perfect color for the witch's skin. This Reflections were you using for her hair?
So her coat, I wanted to do her coat
Oh.
with that over-dyed wool because it looks like
Here we
old,
go.
kind of old,
Sorry.
like she's been riding around.
Let me pull this
And then I
up.
thought the reflections would add some like glimmer and magic to the white lines on the coat.
So her coat is black, but this thread is over dyed, and so it's like a little bit gray, a little bit eggplant, a little bit black. Sorry, I'm not showing you guys on YouTube. And you could probably do it in, are you thinking like packed stem? Would you do packed stem
Maybe,
for
yeah.
her?
Yeah, yeah.
Or maybe a cashmere stitch that kind of
Yeah.
shows some motion.
Yeah, I wanted to show the variegation, so yeah, I would.
The cashmere is going to work better, I
Yeah,
think.
yeah, I
So
agree.
a continuous cashmere, that's a stitch you can look up, but it's basically like rectangles that share a corner, and so it gives you this curved movement. And this reflections, we love reflections here. I think Tracy says it works really well on 18 or 13. I personally like it better on 13. And that would give you the ability to just maybe do reverse basket weave for most of those lines down her coat. So that's really fun. And then I think what Liz also loved about this canvas was this background color. So she pulled
Yeah.
this silk lame braid, which you can see is absolutely perfect. And in Mary Legalay's,
I think it's third, volume 3. I'm so
Volume
proud of myself.
3. We love volume
always
3.
been looking for more from volume 3.
So we love volume 3 because I think it's on page 169. I would double check myself, but it's irrelevant now. There's directions on how to do diagonal gingham. And I used it for a piece a number of years ago, and I think almost every floss set in the building has since been like, I have to do that. So directions to diagonal gingham are in this book. And then this diagonal darning stitch is very open, but that is what's perfect for this background, especially with this sparkly thread. It's gonna be so pretty. And then you could either stitch right over the white dots and then maybe add just something in white sparkly over ones
Yeah, glow in the dark.
throughout it. Glow in the dark thread, ooh, good thought, would be fantastic. So lots of fun ideas for this cute little witch. Okay, did I miss anything, Liz? Did I get it all?
I think so.
Okay, we'll leave that over there. Liz is multitasking, which is always a little stressful. Oops, there we go. Okay, next up, I'll do this guy. This is going to be a little bit simpler. And actually, let's go to something really simple because sometimes you
I like
just
it.
need something relaxing. This, where, hold on, I lost something. What did I lose?
What is that?
I was just gonna look at the navy paint. There we go. Here's the navy paint. So this canvas would be fantastic in any of 3 colors. So you could do the bamboo table, actually 4 or 5 colors. So black or white's always gonna be fantastic. This is an Ann Fisher classic that I absolutely adore. It is her blue and white medallions, I think she calls it. I'm gonna double check that. I can't read.
I don't know. I
Floral
like that
medallion. Floral medallion. So pretty. And I wouldn't do a lot with this other than this might be your relaxing basket weave piece.
Laura's working on that piece, but I think she has a white background on hers, but same color.
So it would look great
So
in the
pretty.
light blue table. It would look fantastic in the black, of course, because black looks good with everything. I think this is 12 by 12. I'm going to double check that. Doop-a-doop-a-doop, 12 by 12. And it's gonna look fantastic in the navy blue table. Look at that, oh my gosh. I love it. I have this blue table at home. Maybe this is gonna have to happen.
No, I really, really like that one.
And I would just stitch this all in basket weave and look at these pepper pot colors together. You've got the light blue background, you've got the navy blue edges. The medallions have kind of that tealy blue on there, and white, of course. And it's just so pretty. So if you're looking for just a simple roll it up in your purse basket weave project, this could be the one for you. This goes with that walked away. And of course, if you are gonna do it on a frame, you're gonna need a coordinating needle minder, and this is one of Kelly's ginger jars, of course. This one has been around for a little while. I might not be able to get more of those either. Sometimes I don't know whether she brings them back or not. So this is one of her ginger jars that, of course, is perfection with this canvas. So there is that guy, and yeah, he's gonna be gorgeous in almost any color table. Okay, Next up, oops, I dropped a thread. Where did I drop this from?
From here.
No, I don't think so. I think that goes with that. Yeah. We got lots of blue going on. Okay.
Here, I can take this away. This I need, sorry.
Okay, you take that. I'm gonna take this. Phew, okay. Next up, this is new to us at Market. I don't know if it's new to Mopsy's line, but this is one of her medallions, and this is the Christmas, excuse me, I said medallion. Last one was medallion. Mandela. Absolutely fantastic. These icons are so much fun. I'm gonna measure this guy for you. I think this one is 10 by 10. You can easily make it 12 by 12. It's up to you. 10 by 10 or 12 by 12, up to you. And the background, I think, is the first step. And again, I would probably do this in T-stitch in the background, and I would probably start with the background and change it kind of to this celery green. This color is actually called mint, but this is gonna set off everything else. You could do it in white, of course. White's always an option, but making something an unexpected background color, I think, just makes such a big difference. So I would do this mint in the background. Then I would do your gingerbread guys in a very velvet to give them a little texture. I would do the candy canes in the center in flare, and maybe double layers of flare. I was gonna say padding. The problem with flare, not the problem, but in this case it's a problem because you can't pad it with all one color. If you pad it with white, because flare is a little see-through, you're gonna see that. So I would just double up my stitches, like do a satin stitch across and then layer it over itself to give it some curvature and padding to it. I would do these little Santa hats in very velvet, and I would add, hi there, a little bit of our teddy thread for the brim of the hat. And then if you look carefully, there is also a little tip to the hat, and this little pom-pom is going to be perfect. You guys don't have to whisper, you're fine, Pat. And that's a little pom-pom to the hat would go on there. And you just pierce these with a beading thread and stitch them right on with floss. Not a big deal. Then I would, why did I pull this? I think this was the detailing. This white was the detailing for the gingerbread, this white radiance, because it would give it a little bit of icing look. Oh no, I pulled it because I love the bells. You guys see the bells on here? And I pulled 3 colors of radiance for the bells. Here we go. There are 3 colors of radiance for the bells. So pretty. And the Christmas trees, I think you could stitch, maybe put some beads for the ornaments. And the toppers, let me open up one of these so I can show you guys this. For the topper of the tree, I love these little snowflake sequins. They are gold. Trying to get one out of here. Boom, boom, boom. Come on. Come on, cooperate with me. I'm going to show you guys first. See this little sequin? Can you see how cute he is? There we go. So he would go on the top of the tree. Let's see if I can hold on to this. I'm going to need my fingers to be just a little bit longer. That sequin on the top of the tree, so cute. And it has a center hole. So you could, where did I drop it? Here it is. It has a center hole. And so you would go up through that center hole, pop a bead on it as a stop bead, and go back down through. And that would be your little tree topper, which I just think those little details make such a difference.
I love my
let you
mandala,
put that
which
guy
is
away.
not seasonal, but I absolutely love stitching.
Well, it's just so fun because you can pull this out and just do, like, you could say, oh, this week I'm going to do all these cute little ornaments, and you're going to have a feeling of satisfaction that way. And of course, back to, I love a matching needle minder. So we have 2 gingerbread needle minders. Both of these I think Liz picked out at Market. So there is the Santa hat gingerbread man, which ties in perfectly with this canvas between the Santa hat and the gingerbread man. And then I'm going to call this the baby gingerbread guy. He is so cute. Look at how sweet
I
he
love
is.
that one so much.
He's just like, yeah, you
It's
just
a
want to
great
like hug
color
him.
and it's so itty bitty, but it's blingy. I don't know. It's best of both worlds.
Well, and it just looks like he's going to leap off of there and hug you, which we all need a hug, right?
Always.
Hugs are good. So that is the Mopsy Christmas Mandala. Okay.
Taking that one from you.
Okay, let me stack up everything with it. There are all his friends. Thank you, thank you. Okay. Let me find one that Liz did. Let's do this one. Except for I picked out this background stitch this morning, and Liz is gonna be like, I told her this morning, we did this together last
pooped
night
out
from
on
like
that.
4 to 5:30, and you know, by the end of the day, your creative juices may have been like juiced out, for lack of a better phrase. And this morning I was like, oh, I need to add a few more things, and so I did, and I'm really happy with what I found. So I think Liz is going to be happy with what I found as well. So I'm going to talk about the background later on, but we're going to talk through what Liz figured out for the foreground of this fantastic canvas. This is a Susan Roberts Nutcracker. He is just shy of 14. So in this case, you might want to make your burgundy line on the outside just a little bit wider to make him exactly 14 by 14 is what I would do. But look at how handsome he is. I mean, these colors together are so good. So I'm going to talk about the background. Actually, let's talk about the background first. No, you know, first I'm going to show you is the darling little matching needle minder. Bryn helped me find this morning. I'm like, I need a nutcracker. She goes, I know where one is. Look at how cute he is. He'd be perfect for this. So there's your matching nutcracker needle minder. Background. I had a couple choices. One is more full coverage because I know some people don't like background to show. It took me a little while to get used to it, but now I like it. So I have 2 stitches from volume 5 of Ruth Schmuff's books. This ribbon stitch I thought would be really, really pretty with kind of how he has an elongated look to him. That ribbon stitch would satisfy that look as well. And it was a full coverage stitch, and you would use this silk and ivory for your long horizontal stitches, and then this silk lame braid for the skinnier stitches. Wouldn't that be cute on the background?
That's really cool.
But then I think there's an even better one. So that's the perfect stitch for someone who wants full coverage. Then I came across this, and that if you own that book, shoot, did I just lose the page number? I'm gonna tell you guys what page it was on. I'm reading it upside down, which is really tricky. I can barely read right side up. 169, I believe. Also in this book, on page 121, is a stitch called Coins Variation, and it is a lot of straight stitches. Here we go, so pretty. This is the one I'm so excited about. Look at how beautiful that would be in that background.
Oh, wow.
You could do it all in one color, all in one thread, excuse me, or you could do the kind of larger outline stitches in this Admiral Blue Silk and Ivory, and then do the center stitches, the kind of crosses or stars in this silk lame braid together. Oh, I mean, so pretty. So that I was really excited about this morning. So that's in volume 5 of Ruth Schmuff's books called Stitches. Yes, it's just called Stitches. And that's on page 121. So that would be the background stitch that I would do. So then Liz had some really great ideas for the Nutcracker himself. So first of all, he has a fantastic beard. We did just restock. You were gonna do the bottom one, correct?
Either one would have been fine. I think I was going to do the top one, but they're both very similar. You've done more beards than me, so I will.
The only reason, bleh. Okay, so first of all, let's start at square one. Beards that I have known. This has just been restocked. If you have this book, and it's an 8.5 by 11 book that says Beards That I Have Known, it's the same exact book, so don't buy the same book twice. They revamped it maybe about 5 years ago. It's been around a long time. It is a keeper for sure. And for each page, they outline beard stitches as well as a colored version of what the stitch looks like stitched. Liz was saying she was thinking about doing the top. The top one has over 2s and over 4s. The bottom stitch has over 4s and over 6s. So this is the theme of the day. I'm a lazy stitcher. This has enough space to do over 4s and over 6s. So that's why I would do the longer stitch, because it would go faster. So I want a lot of different canvases to be able to put in my self-finishing table, so I gotta get through them. So Liz's suggestion was to do that stitch and stitch it in Planet Earth wool and add a strand of mohair. And she's picked 2 different colors because there's dark browns in his hair and his beard, as well as light browns. For the lighter color, she pulled Bella Lusso because it just made a better match and danced together better. But in either case, put a strand of, I called it mohair, but it's actually called Whisper. That's when you know that I'm an old knitting shop owner, when I call it by its actual base name instead of its commercial name. And Whisper is very thin. It will take on the color of almost whatever you run it with. So if this brown looks slightly darker, it's not going to matter. Once it's off the card, it's going to work together beautifully. And then you can once again use that boo-boo brush that we talked about earlier and really fluff that beard up. So again, that longer stitch is going to go a little bit faster, and by the time you fluff it up, you're going to lose some of the stitch definition, which in this case is a good thing. So that's going to be his beard. We didn't pull threads for his mouth, but I love neon rays always for nutcracker teeth, of course. She did pull some fantastic threads. Can we do that without dropping the microphone? No, you're good. For the detailing on his uniform, we've got this kind of swirly look so that you could define the outside of it. Which way were you going to go with this, Liz? We've got wired
So
carnic.
along this top, you could either couch them together.
In these swirls.
Yep, make it a swirl. Or you could tent stitch the gold and then couch
The silver where the white
silver
is.
where the white is. And it's on its
Fantastic.
little shoulders too.
Fantastic. Yeah, so I think these are epitaphs. No, that's
Yes,
something is
yes,
that right?
yes, that's right.
There's something that has to do with a grave that has a word like that, and I can't remember. So, and then I would probably do a lot of neon rays, maybe a velvet hat. So lots more ideas for him, but you know, only so many hours in the day. I think one of the Splendor face cards would work for his face colors. So we're happy to pull the rest of those together for you. And he is fantastic and so excited about that beard and so excited about that outline stitch. So there we go. Almost got it together. Boom, boom, boom. He has a lot of stuff too. Sorry, yep, that's gonna pass back over there. Okay, we're gonna go back to something a little bit simpler. This piece is by Mimi and Stitches, I think. Yes, it is. Yay, I got that right. And we have loved this. Kelly and I picked this out at Market, and the colors are fantastic. I mean, this would look so good if you have the white table. It is, I think, a 10 by 10. Double checking my work. Nope, it is painted to 9 1/4, but easy, easy, easy to make it 10 by 10. Just expand this border stitch, which is going to be very easy. I would do this okay, sorry, I had to remember what I did. Okay, so I would do these white stripes are over 2, the yellow stripes over 1. I would continental the yellow stripes in this pepper pot. And then the white stripes, I would do this combination stitch, which one of my favorite parts of this book, this is Needlepointing in Your Nest. It has many, many pages. It is $65. One of my fantastic, someone's gonna have to talk to Beth about her finishing. No,
Sabrina's right there.
yeah,
She's
Sabrina's
just on
there.
the phone.
Yeah. Will you grab Sabrina for Beth? Because we have
Yeah,
a
she's
couple
just on the
adjustments, so sorry. Okay, so what I would do, this book has borders. Sorry guys, we multitask around here. Our in-shop customers have just arrived, and yeah. So Beth needed to see me, but Sabrina will be there, so it'll be good. There's a whole section that's called borders. And it has borders for canvases, stripes over 1, over 2, over 3, over 4, I think all the way up to 8. And then of course you can use some math to combine them. So this elongated cashmere with Smyrna crosses is in this book. And I would use that for the over 2 white stripes in this canvas. Just to make it, again, a little bit more interesting to stitch. And I pulled the radiance for 18, even though it's a 13 mesh canvas, because Smyrna crosses are so layered. Going with a little bit lighter thread is really beneficial. And then I would do the satin portion of it in probably 3 strands of soy luster. This is one of our favorite white threads because it is really, really white. It is called Blizzard. And we order it by the hundreds when we order it because it is fantastic. So one of my favorites. So that is how I would do the background of this, is those 3 colors, the 2 whites for that stitch, and then the yellow for the stripe. And then the artichokes themselves, I would do up with some long and short in this gorgeous Trinway ribbon. Look at how pretty those colors are. Along with a little bit of this darker pepper pot, which is called French bean. I was trying to find something called artichoke. I didn't get lucky, but that's French bean, to give it a little bit more texture and to carry that heavier color. And I would do long and short in that, and then you're going to have the colors from the border that maybe you're going to do your bases in. So your bases are probably going to be stitched in these 2 combinations in basket weave. And then the other color for the border, I pulled this Strandable Threadworks cotton just because it had a little variegation to it, and I thought these 3 together looked really, really great. So and you can go back to your border book, and especially because you're going to have to enlarge this a little bit to get it to 10 by 10, and you can find the certain width that you need, and you've got your thread, so you'll be good to go. As far as coordinating needle minders, I pulled this darling frog that I thought was perfect with it, that Liz picked out at market. Loved him. And then another one that we've had around for a little while, I think we've got a couple of these. This is one of the Beauvais minders, and Kelly calls this a needle holder. So what happens with this is it is magnetic on the front and the back, of course, but some people say when they put their projects back in their project bag, their needles on the front might fall off. This has a little intentional like bridge to it. Do you guys see that right there? I'm looking through it, so I'm hoping you guys can see it. But there's like basically a hole in this needle minder designed so that when you put your project back in your project bag, you can slide your needle through that space, and that enables your needle to be a little bit protected and not pop off your canvas. So there we go. Okay, next I'm gonna go over this away. Let me move all this your direction. Liz is madly trying to keep up, so thank you, thank you. That's gonna go that way. For something a little kind of non-seasonal and very kind of preppy and old world, we have this fantastic 14 by 14 compass from Susan Roberts. Love this piece. And there's a lot of larger scale background stitches you could do, but another one of our favorite books around here that probably doesn't get enough love are the 2 books from Linda Richardson. This is Stitches a la carte book 2. There's also a Stitches a la carte book 1. And everything in her books are tent stitch based stitches. So I must have a thing for diamonds because I picked out a lot of diamond stitches today, but I thought this would be really pretty with this canvas to do that subtle diamond stitch. It's all a tent stitch based stitch, and I would do it in a lighter Vineyard Silk. So Vineyard Silk, most people say doesn't work well on 13, but again, if you're trying to make something fade into the background and you're matching the color as well as this matches, it's going to be perfect. So that would be my background stitch. And then I would keep the rest of it pretty simple. I didn't pick all the colors. I would do maybe pepper pot in the border. These 2 beautiful pepper pots. This happens to be porcelain and blueberry. And then the letters on the compass, I don't want them to disappear into the background, so I again would do those in velvet. And this burgundy velvet's going to add a little bit redder look than the salmony look. So I would just pop up these colors as well, but I would do that. Velvet doesn't come in as many colors as many other threads. So if you want to use velvet, sometimes you pick the velvet first and then have your other threads fall into line.
What's the name of that book? Sorry.
This is Stitches a la carte Volume 2. And then we also have Volume 1 in the building. So if you're someone who likes tent stitch based stitches, that's hard for me to say too, it's a really good route to go. You can get a lot of pattern and interest without having to learn some kind of crazy stitches that maybe you're not comfortable with. The border I would do in this beautiful kind of caramely velvet. And then one big discussion last night was Liz and I were like, do you see metallic in this? And we finally decided we wanted like just a little bit of metallic. And these two fireworks, even though they're fireworks, they're not quite as blingy as some of the others. This is kind of like the antique gold, whereas part silver and part gold, and then this bronzy color for the circular section of the compass. I don't know all my compass words. And then I would probably just do silk and ivory for the colors throughout the middle, and it would pull together beautifully. So if you are looking for coordinating needle minders, since we're talking about old world compass, it reminded me of this needle minder, which says, which came first, the needle or the thread? Love this one. That's from Judy Tash. And then the Marielle needle minder I talked about earlier, this one is called the Haberdashery Floral, and it has a little pair of the scissors. I envision them being the stork scissors, maybe not, maybe they're just basic scissors because they're round, but the scissors on there are absolutely darling. So that's one of the larger needle minders. Okie dokie. Let's see, we're getting there. I think we have two more. Two more.
This one?
Sure. Liz and I picked this canvas out at Market.
I love this canvas.
Of course, we love the big, bold colors. So when Liz is like, what do you think? I'm like, well, duh, yeah. So, oops, these go with the mandala wherever he is.
Oh.
I don't know.
Oh,
where he
yeah,
is.
I need him. Sorry. I didn't know
Okay.
they stuck to it.
Yeah, they like to jump around, those needle minders. I think tomorrow on unboxing I have a new needle minder holder. I think they came in. I'm so excited.
Oh, yeah, they did.
So I got to try them out though. Make sure they're going to work
I
how I
just
want them to
unwrapped them.
work.
I didn't do anything else. Sorry.
So
Not gonna lie to you.
okay, 12 by 12. This gorgeous sunflower. I mean, how beautiful is this, you guys? The colors are fantastic. This is distributed through Donji, and I apologize, I cannot remember the artist's name right now. But this is from Donji Designs, 13 mesh, and the colors are amazing. This piece in the dark stained wood would be so good. Oh my gosh. I think would also be really pretty in the natural bamboo, which I have misplaced. Do you have the bamboo piece anywhere, Liz?
Yep.
The mini leg. Oh, it's behind Liz's coffee, which she hasn't had a moment to drink. But that would look so good in the bamboo table as well. So, and really almost any of the colors. But Liz is trying to get caught up, but she might have to guide me a little bit on this one because you pulled all these gorgeous threads. Where shall I start?
First is that radiance for the background, and I know it's a little crazy, but it's
Okay, first let's show
iridescent.
you. You guys see how it kind of changes colors?
It's like kind of purple and green. I don't know. I think it'd be amazing.
Yeah, it
An
would be
open
really
stitch,
pretty.
of
So
course.
something maybe T-stitch or maybe that large skipped darning stitch that we showed earlier. You've got a lot going on. So, and the other thing you'll notice is these are kind of painterly painted. So we've got a little canvas thread popping off there. So that shadowing will show through with something open in this gorgeous color. So that's our background color. And then she loved these butterflies, and how can you not love these butterflies? So she wanted to do these in velvets.
Yes.
Look how pretty that is. We probably need a black velvet as
Yeah,
well, but you know, that's okay. We can use our imaginations for that. So this, interestingly on YouTube, this looks really orange. It's
So
definitely,
funny. It's a red jewel tone.
yeah.
It's like a
they're
bright red. It's a
so
bright
pretty
Christmas
together.
red.
Just pop it out a little bit on YouTube for whatever reason. But that would be for the butterflies. And then,
And then the other like red and like the jewel tones that are around the flower you could use the Planet Earth silk. Like the butterflies would be velvet. The rest of the things that are kind of like swirls and embellishments and flowers could be the silk. Like I was just trying to get different texture in there.
Oh, and those
Because there's so
colors
much going
are
on.
so pretty together. Look
Yeah,
at all
they're
that.
so pretty
Oh,
and jewel toned.
delicious, delicious. Okay,
And
then
then
we have the flower.
that's part of that. That and the fuzzies are for the center. So that's the outer ring.
Okay, so then we were talking about this. It's a wool. It's called Planet Earth Burnt Toast, and that would be for this section.
Yep.
And done in turkey work, correct? And we have a tutorial on our website about how to do turkey work. It is so much easier than anyone can think it is. If you know how to do brick stitch, you can do turkey work. Turkey work, you then cut your loops and sculpt them with some scissors, and you're in good shape. The rest of the center of the flower are going to be done in these fuzzy stuffs, probably in kind of like mitered satin stitch, if that's a term. But you're
Lots of
basically just
long
going
stitches.
long stitches, working your way around. You'll share some holes in the center part, and longer stitches all the way around. And then maybe even the center, for that center part, I have never tried turkey work with fuzzy stuff. It might be an interesting adventure. You could also just do, honestly, brick stitch in turkey work and fluff it up with your boo-boo brush. I might do 2 strands of it. I once had a teacher tell me you never use 2 strands of fuzzy stuff.
I
use
always
2 strands
do.
of fuzzy stuff. Well, that's because I taught you.
Because you taught me to do that.
But I might do this center in just a brick stitch, over 4 or over 2, either way, and fluff it up, and you won't see the definition of the brick stitch, which in that case I don't think you want to. And then for all these fantastic petals, here is our flower. And here are all these gorgeous pepper pots that Liz picked out. And let's see if I can tilt this and maybe they'll stay put. Oh, look at that, they're being nice to me. And then these 3 colors of radiance. How beautiful are these all together? Can you guys see these? Oh, so pretty. Okay, so tell us about the petals, Liz. I'm sorry, I know you're typing and answering.
I wanted the radiance to kind of help with the texture. You can see that some of the petals closer to the center have like a darker, like marigold. Like they have 2 different colors on the petals. So to play around with it, I would go back and forth between some radiance and some pepper pot. And I think I would kind of put the radiance in maybe not every single petal. You know, I would play around with maybe the lightest yellows would have it, or maybe, you know, every other. I kind of think that it would be good to have.
And what kind of stitches would you? Would you just do basket weave and just mix up the textures and
I
the
think
colors?
I would mix up the texture. Like all those light yellow leaves in the front, I would do like a heavier stitch, you know? Like maybe upright cross, or maybe something that's like full coverage.
Okay.
But has
to
some-
give you that weight at the front, so you have the foreground and the background.
And
of
then
the
maybe
petals.
that like medium orange, that's the next set of petals, or the marigold, I would like do a lighter stitch. Maybe
yeah, so
like
you might-
T-stitch them or something, you know, so they kind of
And
fall
then
behind.
skip tent almost by the way.
Exactly.
Back. So heavy,
Yeah.
heavy to light stitching, but
Yeah.
kind of not too crazy of stitches because you're gonna
Right,
lose the
like I'd want to use one
outlines.
of those books that has a bunch of little stitches, you know, like Mary's Volume 4, or,
That
you know, my
teeny tiny
favorite,
stitches.
Stitches to Go, my favorite.
Yes.
I like doing those though, because then you can kind of mix and match, and when you find the one you like, you just find all the petals that match, and you go around and do it, and then it helps your eye have a focus, because it's a
Perfect.
fun canvas, but it's really, like, there's a lot going on.
There is.
So you gotta hone it down a little bit.
Love it. And then of course I had to find a matching needle minder, and we do have the Bovera sunflower with that cute little ladybug offering a little bit of luck. And hopefully, speaking of a little bit of luck, we do have, I think I mentioned at the beginning, our lottery for the spring retreat is open. It will close Thursday night. And so if you're interested in joining us, that one is in March. It is a much bigger deal. We have 66 people at our lakeside location. You know, if you are looking to do something a little simpler, as I said, we had two spots open for this coming week. So give us a call on that one.
And to enter the spring one though, you need to
Yes.
go on our website and fill out the Google
Correct.
form.
Don't call us
Sorry.
on the spring one. Spring one, there's a link. The only reason you're calling us on the most current one is because we have only 2 spots and it's right around the corner. Okay. This fantastic next piece is from Shelley Tribby, so part of our trunk show. And I have buried my board. Here we go. This haunted house is incredible. Look at the colors on this. So good. This one is 18 mesh, so you're going to have a lot of option to do a lot of detailed stitching. It is 10 by 10, and because it's part of the trunk show, it will be 20% off. And oh my gosh, this skeleton sitting on the steps is fantastic. The witch with her cauldron. We've got this spooky head. As a matter of fact, that spooky head made me think of a couple different needle minders. We have the raven with the skull, which is one of the accoutrements needle minders, if you want a coordinating needle minder, or this other fantastic Beauvais skull on black. So there are your coordinating needle minders. And 18 mesh. So Liz had pulled these two pepper pots for the house slats.
Oh yeah.
And I would probably do them in just a tent stitch and satin stitch. So
And
good.
I love that variegated, I don't know if it shows up on camera well, but it's got a little bit of like,
Oops, sorry.
it would be like an old, dingy, worn house, right?
So pretty.
Kind
Yes.
of got some like taupes in it.
I'm trying to hold, there we go. I'm
Yeah.
trying to hold it so both cameras can see it. But yeah, it has a little bit of variegation. It's very subtle, but it's gonna be perfect for the slats of those houses. And then the in between is gonna be that purple. Is this for, oh, this is, you were talking
that's
about
for the-
ruching that for the smoke.
Smoke in the,
So we've talked about ruching a couple
sky.
times today.
it's in the, I mean, there's a tutorial.
Thank you. I was like, one of these books goes with this,
Yeah.
yes. Is ruching in here? Yes, it is.
I thought so.
Okay, so let me put this down because I need 4 hands today and I only have 2. I'm going to cover this up. This is Stephanie Chase's A Stitch at a Time. And this is a fantastic book. There are so many stitches in this, and she also has a small section with video tutorials. So if you clicked on that QR code, it would take you to video tutorials. So she's talking about how to ruche frosty rays, which is what Liz had suggested right here for the smoke, as well as ruching Vineyard Merino, which would be very similar to the couch coils I talked about earlier with the Shelley Tribby Moon piece, or also ruching a ribbon structured thread like Neon Rays Plus, Sparkle Rays, or Kryonic 1/16. So lots of different ways you can use that, and so those instructions are in this book. But Liz was saying you could ruche the frosty rays to be this smoke coming out of the chimney would be fantastic. And then
It's 18 mesh.
it is 18 mesh, yep. Oops, my letters are on that side. And additionally, she also pulled this kind of like fantastic silk lame braid to do kind of like a dark, muddy sidewalk, of course, leading up to the witch's haunted house. And then setting the whole thing off with this is your sky, right? This fantastic, like deep
Oh yeah.
purple
T-stitch.
and black. Do this in T-stitch so it won't look quite as heavy in T-stitch because you'll have a little bit of the white showing through and it will be fantastic. So again, this canvas is 20% off during the Shelley Tribby Trunk Show and would give you a fantastic Halloween piece to put in your self-finishing table. So there we go with that one. And I think we have one last one left, which is also Halloween piece. There we go. I'm losing my words. I've talked for so long. And this is one Liz is going to have to help me with because she did all the work on this one as well. So I'm going to organize this a
Halloween.
little bit. Yeah, we love a good Halloween. We're not ready to let it go yet. Okay.
Keep giving me the board.
I have
13
bandit.
mesh.
13
First
mesh
thing is 13
from
mesh.
Laura Love. This is her Trick or Treat canvas. We sold a number of these at market. This was a new market release. And should we talk about the background first?
Sure.
Is this the background stitch?
It
Yes.
is.
So the background stitch Liz picked is from which of
We have your bag.
the background book from the Pointer Sisters.
This one page.
And it is on page 80. It is called Mosaic Stitch with Reverse Continental.
So it's going to give you a lot of texture. It's not difficult to compensate around because they are all diagonal stitches. So if you need to do a lot of compensating, always do yourself a favor and try to pick a diagonal stitch. It will be much, much easier.
And I almost didn't pick it, but then I read the text, which I love about the Pointer Sister books. It said in her description,
I hadn't read it.
easy to, well, because I looked at it and loved it, and then I was nervous, and it says very easy to compensate. I'm like, yes.
It says easy to compensate. You can use the same thread for both stitches or change the threads. So it is easy to compensate because again, they're all diagonal stitches. You can work your way around this. One of what canvas I was talking about earlier, I would make sure you do your background stitch in whatever area you're in before you do anything else.
Yeah, like
So
the web has to be done.
You don't have to do the entire background first. You just have to have the background done like down to here if you're gonna start stitching your letters. Once you stitch the foreground items, it's very easy to get yourself lost on where you are in the pattern of your background. So background stitches, I'm assuming you had this gorgeous orange.
Yeah.
I love shimmer blend. So this would be the accent stitch. This would be the over one accent stitch in blue. And the orange would be your 242s in the mosaic stitch. So, as long as nobody else is called.
I need all her information. Like if she's in the system, I need email. Oh,
Sorry.
Thank you,
Quick
Pat, so
question.
much.
Thanks, Pat.
Thank you.
Then, next up on this, I've mushed threads together, I think. Maybe not.
Just want you to know that 2 stitchers that claim something are offering it to someone else.
Oh my God, we have the nicest
First,
people.
but first, because they're just so dang sweet. Susan and Christy, sweet, sweet, sweethearts.
Thank you. I think Christy's coming next week.
Is she? I sure hope so.
I think she is.
I can't keep track of my retreats.
I can.
I'm sorry.
So we're going to talk about some more thread ideas, but here is our black Jack. He's so good. And then I think we should talk about this potion bottle, but I want Liz to notice that I found a potion bottle.
I love it, and it
Needle
matches.
minder. Look at that. Oops, where's the potion bottle? There we go. So
Oh my God,
potion
I
bottle,
love
needle
it.
minder, potion bottle on here. So I know you were excited about the potion bottle. So as these,
Yes. So I feel like, and this is so Kelly, this is Kelly's influence on me. I feel like we would have to do it, just bling it out in that Threadworks. And those are some of the shinier, like more sparkly Threadworks. Cause like she always is like, it needs to look magical. It needs to look like a magical potion.
is that an eyeball in the middle of the potion?
Yes.
Fantastic.
Yes. So thinking of Kelly, I did green for the green one and purple, but the Threadworks I picked out had to be like extra, extra sparkly.
And they're so good.
Because
We
she
love
would
them.
say we needed to make it look magical.
So good.
You know.
And then the spider web, after you've
After the
stitched all your
background.
background, you're gonna couch in this micro ice chenille in silver for a really spooky, creepy spider web.
Yeah.
Love that. So we talked about that.
The ghosts.
The ghosts are in glow in the dark
Course.
sparkle rays. Here are the ghosts up here. There we go. So fantastic. Oh my God, I love this canvas. Now I want to take this home, Liz. It's so
And
fun.
then the book comes back into play with that lollipop in the center, plus other candies, to be honest. I think the wrapped,
So these are going to be
chain.
our colors for this lollipop. So let me put that down for a minute.
I think because it's a swirl, you want to do something that can make that beautiful curve. And you helped me find this yesterday in that book. They have the wrap chain stitch, which would be awesome.
So this chain stitch, it is a chain stitch. There is a tutorial on our website about how to do reverse chain stitch. I always recommend reverse because you won't say nasty words quite as often. And then you go back on top and you wrap it, just like you would with wrapped back stitch. Again, because this is from Stephanie's fantastic book, A Stitch at a Time. This QR code will send you to a video of her showing this. She's showing it straight here because I think it is just easier to see. But the beauty of a chain stitch is it's very easy to do curves, circles, S's.
And there's lots of curves in the candies, not just the lollipop. So it's just kind of a good.
So you could use them here, you could use them here, you could use them here because you can even do 2 rows next to each other. Yeah, so that's that. And did I miss anything
That
else?
is for satin stitching the letters.
Okay, so I'm a big velvet letter stitcher. Liz is a big fireworks letter stitcher, although we both kind of go both ways. But she happened to pull this because the fireworks is going to pop out
Yeah.
against this silk and ivory background.
Right, oh
So
my gosh.
really, really
I
good.
don't know if you were showing those with it too or not.
I
I don't remember. I don't know if you showed them. I wasn't looking up.
No,
But you
those were
know-
from the last Halloween canvas because they had a skull head on them.
All right.
Yeah. Okay, I'm exhausted. I think we did it
It's a
all.
lot. It's a
Um,
lot of talking.
It sounds like one person called about next week's
It does
retreat.
sound like it. I don't know if
So we may
the
still have one
girls-
spot. So if you joined us late, we had 2 people unfortunately drop out this morning from next week's retreat because of some family issues going on, and I hope everything is going to be okay with them. So if you were interested in coming to Detroit for a KISS, a Keep It Simple Stitcher retreat, we, I think, have 1 spot still available. So feel free to give us a call, 313-882-9110. And that's that. I'll be back tomorrow morning for more fun and games on unboxing. And again, if you want to come to our large 66-person lakeside retreat, that lottery is open through this evening. So hopefully we've covered everything. Tables, which is really was the star of the show today. The link to our tables is on the front of our website. So all of the canvases I showed will fit in one of the 4 colors of the scallop table, which has a new and improved lower price, or the 3 colors of our bamboo table. And all of the details about the tables are best found on our website, and best place to order them so that we don't accidentally order you the wrong color table. That would be a very expensive mistake. So I think I've covered it all. Do we have anything else we need, Liz? We good?
Nope, we're good. It's gonna take us a
Okay.
minute to process though.
Yeah, so we got to get all caught up. So we are still shipping. Anne's back there working. We're working on pull threads from market. We're getting through those slowly. The best news of all is we got 2 large shipments of threads. So once the threads are here, it is much easier to pull threads for a canvas. So thank you all for continuing to support us. We appreciate you so much. And we'll see you back bright and early
See you
tomorrow,
tomorrow.
9:30. Bye.